The Farrell Valve Bag attaches to your child's feeding tube and allows extra air to escape from your child's stomach. Use this video if your child has a GJ tube or separate G and J tubes and you are using the Farrell Valve Bag while feeding the small intestine. If this is not the correct Farrell Valve Bag video for your child, see the links in the description for other Farrell Valve Bag videos. Never connect the Farrell Valve Bag to an NJ tube, J tube, or the J port of a GJ tube. Never use the Farrell Valve Bag to vent the small intestine. To use the Farrell Valve Bag, first wash your hands. If possible, have your child sit up during the feeding. If your child is lying down, raise the chest and head above hip level during the feeding. Hang the Farrell Valve Bag so it's higher than your child's stomach. The bag must be higher than the stomach at all times. On the Farrell Valve Bag tubing, open the white clamp and open the blue clamp. On the Y connector of the Farrell Valve Bag, push the plug end into the med flushing port. Open the cap on the feeding tube extension and push the Farrell Valve Bag adapter into the large port on the feeding tube extension. Make sure the caps on the other feeding tube extension ports are closed. Connect the other end of the feeding tube extension to the G port on the feeding tube. If you are using a feeding bag, hang the feeding bag at the same height or lower than the Farrell Valve Bag. Prepare your child's feeding system as usual. Connect the feeding bag to the J port on the feeding tube. Make sure the Y connector is at or below the level of your child's stomach and the Farrell Valve Bag is higher than your child's stomach. Start your child's feeding. The Farrell Valve Bag is now removing extra air from your child's stomach. The extra air in your child's stomach escapes through the vent valve, so the Farrell Valve Bag will not fill up with air. You should use a new Farrell Valve Bag every 24 hours. When you are finished with your child's feeding, first wash your hands, then disconnect as you normally would. To stop using the Farrell Valve Bag, make sure the Farrell Valve Bag is empty. When the Farrell Valve Bag is empty, close the feeding tube extension clamp, the blue clamp, and the white clamp on the Farrell Valve Bag tubing. If your doctor orders a water flush, fill a new syringe with the amount of water your doctor ordered. Open the med flushing port of the Y connector and insert the water syringe. Open the feeding tube extension clamp and the blue clamp, then push the syringe plunger to give water. When the syringe is empty, close the extension clamp and the blue clamp and remove the water syringe and close the Y connector. After you are done giving the water flush, or if your doctor has not ordered the water flush, disconnect the Farrell Valve Bag adapter from the feeding tube extension and recap the adapter.